for joining to watch how to put together this adorable little penguin spinner card that I designed in Cricut Design Space. This is the card that we will be putting together, and if you tilt the card, you'll see that, well, it's not going to work for me now, but your little penguin spins along that track, and a lot of people can't quite figure out how to assemble the little track for the spinner, so that is the main reason I'm doing this video. I already have all of my pieces cut out, and every piece you see here is included in the Design Space file that I will link to down below in the description. If you're on a desktop, just click the Show More link beneath the video, and if you're on a mobile device, just click the little down arrow to get to the link. Okay, first we have our card base, and in the file you'll see that I have some writing attached, and you can just hide that layer if you don't want it to write on your card. Then we have our front panel, and I did mine in the navy blue pearl paper from Cricut. I like the shimmer that it gives, plus it's kind of like a night sky color, which is what I was going for. You'll have your little tag, which I also did use the writing feature to put the sentiment on that, and I've already put some dimensional dots on there. And you'll have a solid white piece that's going to go behind your spinner section, which is the snow. A piece that I've cut out of craft foam. Now this piece here is optional. If you would rather just use some foam tape or foam squares, whatever you might have, you can use that, but you will want to make sure that this is the piece that is actually going to create the spinning mechanism, that and the foam. So you will need to make sure to only put your foam along the very, very edge of this, because these are our spinners, our little pennies. You need to make sure that your foam is not going to hit that penny as it rolls along this track. So that's basically the only important step. So you'll notice I've already went ahead and done a lot of my little extras on this piece, the snow for the very front. I used white flock. I took a glue pad and stamped it out over the front, and then poured my flocking powder over the glue and just kind of pressed it down. It gives it a kind of little fuzzy look, kind of looks like snow. I also went ahead and put together the trees. In the file, you'll notice that you have the actual trees, the green pine trees, and then there'll be also some solid white trees that cut out. I used those as a little shadow layer, so against that dark background, it helps the trees stand out a little bit better. You don't have to, but I liked the way it looked, so I did that. But for the snow on these, I just used some art glitter glue and the extra fine glitz glitter from Michaels, and just did that on the little white areas on each of the pine trees. Excuse me. And then you have your little penguin. Now, this is a print then cut image in Design Space, and it's not included in Access. So if you don't have this cartridge, this image will be 99 cents if you decide to use this one. If not, go in and find yourself another penguin or even download one and upload it and use that. And I also opted to use print then cut for the pine trees. So, you know, if you prefer to cut these and assemble the little snow pieces on top, go for it. Or if you just want to cut them out of green and then use glitter to make your snow, you know, that's fine. You know, change things up and make it your own. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my foam on the back of this front snow panel here. And I don't know, I think my foam got wet because it is really dingy looking, but it's going to be hidden, so I'm okay with it. And then this, I'm going to use a liquid adhesive because it's foam and it kind of soaks in and helps it stick really well to that cardstock. So we're just going to put this all along the edge of this. Now the thing with using craft foam is it does tend to stretch out of shape a little bit, so when you put it onto the adjoining piece, you kind of have to manipulate it to get it to line up just right, because you don't want foam sticking out behind it. Alright, so let's check the front. Yeah, see right there, it's kind of sticking out a little, so I'm gonna just squeeze and squish until it's hidden behind that front layer there. Alright, and if you decide to use flock like I did, it gets everywhere until all of the excess kind of like gets rubbed off. Okay, so we have that little piece done. And still got a little bit showing, but I think we have enough going on with this card that little bitty flaws aren't going to really be noticed. Okay, and then next we are going to put our front panel on our card base. And for this I'm going to use my Scotch ATG gun. Closer to the edge there. All right. Whoops. And you're just going to center this on the front of your card base. Okay, like so. And see, I love that little shimmer that you get from this paper. Okay, and then you're going to take your solid white cut here of the snowscape, and you are going to adhere it all the way to the bottom of that front panel you just put on. And I will use some dry adhesive on that as well. And you will see the purpose of this piece here in just a minute. A lot of people don't put the same color background behind that little spinner notch, but I do. I did it on this one because of the trees that are going in the background. This helps line those up perfectly. And I sliced the trees against this so that they line up just right. All right, there's that. And now for our trees. I'm going to use liquid adhesive on these so I can move them around a little if I have to. Let's see. You just want to put your adhesive on the backs of those, and then you'll see that they will line up just right with these curves. And that was the purpose of having that background white piece down here. And also, you know, if I hadn't used the slice on these, it would have been behind these layers and added more bulk. And this is already a pretty bulky card to begin with, so I didn't want to add to it. Plus, doing it this way just makes it so easy to line everything up perfectly. I'm all for making things as simple as possible. Alright, and then this little guy here, I'm trying to look at the other card as I go along. It helps. Alright, those go right there. And then, oh, I'm getting glitter everywhere. I love glitter. Love the way it makes things look, but oh, it is so messy. I'll be cleaning up this white glitter for weeks. And the flock powder is about the same way. It's not quite as fine, so it doesn't make quite as big as a mess as the glitter, but it still gets everywhere. Alright, there's that. Okay, and then that is the basis for the card pretty much right there. And now for the magic, you will need a dimensional. You can use craft foam and your glue, or I actually ran out of my little round foam dots, so I took a square one and tried to cut a circle. But you will want to make sure that it is going to fit within your track here. And I see I probably need to, let's see. Yeah, that should work. All right, so the magic. Take your pennies. Oops. And we are going to stick our little dimensional dot there right in the middle of the penny. Okay, as good as you can get it. Okay, then you're gonna stick this over the top, and then try to get this penny centered over the other one as good as you can, and then squish them together. Okay, and let's see, it's not wanting to roll around in there. Why? Let's see. No. All right, I see my little dot is a little bit too big. So I'm going to start over with my dot. Okay, I went off camera and cut myself a smaller little 3D dot. So let's try again. We center on the penny. Okay. Then we want to line him up. Center our other penny, or try to at least. I think I got mine off, but we'll work with it hopefully. All right, now let's see. There we go. Okay, now we take this and we're going to adhere it to the front of our card here. I'm going to use some liquid glue. And I'm all out of camera again, so okay, and this will get lined up exactly over the top of this panel that's already on here. And I'm making a mess with that glue. All right. Looks good, and then you just want to press it down. All right, and next step is to take your little penguin, and I forgot to grab my double-sided tape. All right. I'm just using some of this tear tape since it's a little bit stronger than a liquid, and all we do is stick that down on our penny and then peel it off and stick our penguin to it. You kind of want to try to get him. I put the penny over here at the lowest point so that his feet will be near the bottom of the card. And then you just stick that little guy on there. And to finish my little penguin off, I'm going to use my clear Wink of Stella and go over what's supposed to be the fur on his hat and his jacket. Give it a little bit of sparkle too. And the last step is to take your little sentiment tag. And like I said, I use dimensionals on this. You don't have to. You can just stick it straight to the card if you want. And this, I'm going to line it right up to the edge of the blue, or at least try to. And then across. All right, and that is it. This card actually goes together pretty quickly. And you can see you got your little spinner guy. I don't know why he's not one to spin on this one, but there we go. And he just spins around. But that's it. Link to the file will be down in the description. And I hope you enjoy the file and subscribe so you don't miss any of my other assembly videos, and have a great day.